everybody, I wanted to come on to YouTube to talk a little bit about the art that I produced today. And first what we're going to do is when I took the photo flat. But more like flat from above. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the 360. And then I'm going to tell you a couple of funny things that happened. And I don't know if you can see this, but there's an arm, a throat, and it's almost like that's the head. This looks like a desk with a pencil holder. So I saw that and this actually looks like a little bit of a jacket. So as I keep telling you, you initially see the painting, but then you don't really see what the painting offers until you look at it a couple times. So you actually have to look at it a couple times. There's a lot going on this painting because I used my embroidery. And yesterday I showed you 2, but there was actually 3 pieces of my sewing on that painting that I showed you yesterday. This is embroidery. This is embroidery. If you look at it, it changes from, it looks like a dog or a lizard. Sometimes when you look at it, it looks like a moose. Looks like a park bench. Looks like a person. So that's the kind of stuff you look at when you look at this. So I have to tell you a couple things that happened. Oh, this actually, let me show you what I was gonna do. So I glued on a little hat onto Gratitude Gorilla. And I actually went up into my attic because I know I have a few more of these up in the attic. And I was gonna put Gratitude Gorilla in my little bag. So this here that I made is actually, it doesn't really work now because I put other stuff in it, but this is elastic that I sewed, my first piece of elastic that I've ever sewed. And so that's on here. And it actually, if you take your hands and you are gentle with it, it actually has elastic in it. And so I thought that was a perfect additive. And then there was something else that I did. Oh yeah, and when I was up in the attic, I found these big pieces of yarn. And the dogs grabbed the yarn because the yarn had been sitting in the attic for a long time. And they took the yarn and they ran it around the yard and it was dropped all over the yard. And then I grabbed it from them. And then they grabbed it again. And so it took me like 2 or 3 times in order to get this yarn. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And honestly, the attitude I had when I put on this piece of yarn was like, I guess I'll just put it right here. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And this is slaying slug. So this painting is an intense painting, and it started off really well, and then I wanted to give up, but then I just kept going, and then I feel satisfied on how it turned out. And so remember, we went from 11 by 14 size to this larger paper, and so it's a lot more work to do the larger pieces of artwork. So anywho, today you're only going to get one piece of art because I'm exhausted. Because I also started, I just did a little sketch of Gertie. Well, I really tried to draw Gertie, but it didn't really, I just thought I would, she's listening. Yes, I tried to draw you. She said it turned out really good. I said, okay. So there's Gertie. And that's it. So that's my 5-minute video on the explanation of today's piece of art, which I will be posting on probably Facebook. That I probably won't be doing a long video on Facebook because it takes forever for that to download, but I will probably also be putting this on YouTube.